Hello, Betty Crosby here. The world is in a mess. Yes, it is. The world has been in messes before. Yes, it has. But not quite with the ultimate dangers that it is in right now with nuclear weapons being brought into the conversation. It seems that there are American congressmen, uh, perhaps women also, although I haven't heard that, who are suggesting that the United States should and NATO should do a preemptive strike on Russia um, to protect um, uh, Ukraine, uh, and that this would be be a proper thing to do with the nuclear weapons. God, have mercy on us. And then they point to the fact that Russia, being somewhat unnerved by these suggestions of their nuclear weapon missiles that are supposed to be very effective in deflecting any incoming missile strikes from NATO or the U.S. or wherever. And but it is extremely unnerving, and it makes me wonder why the United States even allows this kind of talk to go on. Now, I'm a big believer in free speech. I really am. However, people who are in a position where they could maybe influence whether or not the United States, and with all agreement from Trudeau's government, because they they are very much in favor of protecting Ukraine at all costs, even if it's World War III. Evidently, that's about all you can glean from what people are saying in the United States and in Canada, that the war dogs are out and they are braying loudly. They want some meat. They want some money from the military industrial complex, and they want lots of it. And so, what is humanity, regular people, to think of these actions around Ukraine? Putin said he wanted one thing, which was a written agreement that um, that NATO would not move into the Ukraine, and so the European Union, they say they really have no plans to allow that to happen, but they have said that before to Putin. It wasn't put, not to Putin, but to the Russian officials of the day, that they would not go eastward any more than where they were right then. That was a lie. They have encircled Russia and now are wanting to um, bring NATO right into Russia's borders. So naturally, I would be alarmed too. If the enemy was camped on my doorstep, I would be alarmed. I don't consider Russia an enemy. Um, I grew up with newsreels of the Russian Revolution, the aftermath of the revolution. The revolution was completed in 1923. I was born in 1928, but there were still these newsreels around of the revolution, of the and how the revolution was doing in the years that I was growing up. So I felt sympathy for the Russian people because they suffered so mightily during the Second World War and afterwards. They lost over 20 million people, died in Russia, both primarily soldiers, but so many civilians died fighting hand-to-hand combat with, or trying to, with superior manpower and bombing. And so after the Second World War, the whole of Europe was devastated, even, you know, the the European countries were devastated too. It wasn't just Russia, although Russia took the brunt of the deaths of the Second World War. And although the United States tries to deny this now, which I think is so sleazy, not to give Russia credit for what they did during the Second World War. I was watching American newsreels that showed what Russia was doing, the sieges of big cities where people starved to death inside the walls, and rather than give over to the Nazis. So, it's, if you can't drum up some respect for Russia, if Canada and the United States cannot drum up some respect for the roles that she has played in not only being an ally with the United States, but with raising the people of Russia up to middle class and upper lower class standards, where the wealth that Russia accumulated from its natural resources wasn't just clobbered up at the top like it is in the United States and Canada. It was given better education, better schools, better hospitals, better ways of dealing with institutions. Russia is an advanced state. To treat it like it's some kind of a pariah or on the same level as Afghanistan or going into Iraq, or it's just so dumb. It's just so dumb. I am not a Trump supporter. I've been a Democrat all of my life, although I'm not anymore. I've turned against the Democratic Party because I am a dual citizen. I can still vote in the United States. I am not voting again for the Democrats. I think they've gone over the top. I hope that Tulsi Gabbard will run for president. I would certainly vote for her. She is the only really anti-war politician in America, I believe. And so I really admire her anti-war stance and her laying out the situation as it actually is. That's because she's still in the reserve. I think she's a major general or something like that in the reserve. She's served 2 or 3 stints in different countries with the military. She knows what she's talking about in terms of what happens to these countries after the United States goes in and blasts them. So we have to get some sense into this. There's no sense in it. Okay, as I was going to say, I'm not a Trump supporter. However, if everything that Trump has said, every sentence he has uttered since he's been on the scene was a lie, he has said this one true thing, and he just said it recently, where he said, it isn't that Putin is so smart. It's that the political elites, the current political elites, are so dumb. And I think it has to be true. If it's not true, then it's a design. Are they doing this deliberately? Do they do the deep state and the banking system, the Great Reset? Is this all by design to get us so frightened? They have to keep us frightened to make us go into this Great Reset where we become serfs in our own land. So it's a puzzle. It just really, really is. And while and part of it is that Canada and the United States, they've never experienced war on our own territories. No, we don't know what that's like to see people killed and maimed before our eyes, or our loved ones just totally taken away from us with a blast, our houses caved in. We know nothing about that. So that's what makes the warmongers so dangerous, is they know nothing about that either. They don't want to know nothing about that. They are not in danger of knowing anything about that. They have their hidey holes with all of their uh, um, provisions. They're not going to suffer any war. They're just going to make billions of dollars out of a war and let the world be bombed back to the Stone Age. It's unbelievable. It's just simply unbelievable. And the Trudeau government, it just accepts everything that Biden says, and so does his next in line. Now, Miss Freeland is very sure that it's the right thing to follow the science of war as well as the science of a disease, and you've got to listen to them because they know everything. In reality, they're a bunch of dummies, okay? That's my opinion. Okay, thanks. If you've gone this far, thank you. Okay, goodbye.